Well, now Nigeria has set its sights on becoming a global powerhouse in food production. Minister of Agriculture Dr. Akawumi Adesina says a revolution is underway to increase the prosperity of the nation's millions of poor farmers. This has meant tackling corruption and using the latest mobile phone technology, as she explains.
The problem in Africa is we spend most of our money importing food. When we do that, we export jobs, and we don't create the domestic industry to actually, make the economy grow. We've got, 14 million farmers that are in the country. Majority of them are poor. It doesn't make any sense to me because we have 85 million hectares of land. 40% of that is utilized. No more than 10% is utilized optimally. So Nigeria should actually be a global powerhouse in food. Today, we are a net importer of food. We spend $11 billion importing basic things like wheat, sugar, fish, and it doesn't make any sense. And so we've decided as a government that we will diversify the economy away from oil, that we will use agriculture to create robust growth that is able to create jobs. Now, to do that requires a total shift in how we look at agriculture, and we did. I don't believe agriculture is a development activity. I don't believe that we can manage poverty. I don't believe that we should be in that business of poverty reduction. I think we should be in the business of creating wealth for a lot of people. So that means agriculture for us fundamentally is a business. Whether it's a seed company, fertilizer, storage, processing, logistics, transport, competitiveness in global market, that's my job. My job is to make Nigeria's agriculture to become like Brazil. And I think I've been prepared for that all my life. When I became minister, I inherited a system that was very, very corrupt. For 4 decades, Nigerian government bought and sold fertilizer. And as the fertilizer was bought and sold by government, it was like a leaky pipeline. Fertilizer goes in this way, it never comes out the other side. 11% of farmers were getting the fertilizer bought and sold by government. So in other words, people were selling sand as fertilizer, people were selling undersized bags, and so government literally was subsidizing corruption, not subsidizing farmers. And so what we did, it took 90 days under President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, when I became minister, for us to actually dismantle 4 decades of corruption in that sector. How did we do it? We took the government out of buying and selling fertilizer. So we started the first ever registration of farmers in the country. We put together a database in our first year, 4.2 million farmers with full biometric information. This year we'll do 5 million farmers. Next year we'll do 5 million farmers. So in 3 years, we'll have covered all the farmers in the country. Know your customers. So you can know who the farmers are, where they are, what your farm sizes are, what do you grow, and what are your financial needs, so that we can target our things better. And then what we did was we took the technology of the mobile phone to be able to circumvent the rent seekers. And so we registered our farmers on their mobile phones, and we send them electronic vouchers for money, by subsidies for seed and fertilizers directly to them on their own mobile phones. And they pay the balance. We give them 50% subsidy, and then they pay the cash of 50%. They go to the import retailer, they pay their money, they collect their bags of fertilizer and seed and walk away. There's no minister, there's no local government chief, there's no politician in the system. For the first time as a country, as a minister, I can tell you who got what seed or fertilizer, when did they get it, where did they get it, how much did they pay, how much did the government pay. Nigeria is the largest producer of cassava in the world, 40 million metric tons. But we account for only almost 0% in terms of global value added. And so we have a big project now in Nigeria, in Kwara State and in Kogi State, to do 25,000 hectares under cassava with a starch plant, sweetener plant. That is how you unlock money. Now, what we're witnessing in Nigeria today is an agricultural revolution. An agricultural revolution because it's market-driven. And in the last 1 year, we've been able to attract $8 billion of private sector investment into this particular space. Today, we are exporting. We've started with contracts to China, 2.2 million metric tons of dry cassava chips going to China. We've started with oil palm plantations, we're capitalizing that. Cocoa, for example, last year, we gave 3.5 million metric tons of hybrid cocoa to our farmers. That comes down to 144 million seedlings of cocoa. Why? I want to grow our cocoa sector from 250,000 metric tons today to 1 million metric tons of cocoa. We're the largest importer of rice in the world. And we can grow rice every part of Nigeria. In the last 1 year since we started, 14 new rice mills have come up, private sector owned. They have a capacity of 240,000 metric tons. It's about 1/10 of what we currently import. And in the next few years, we're going to spend $800 million to acquire first-rate technology from China to do long-grain parboiled rice. So by 2015, we will have in place for the first time as a country the full milling capacity to mill all the rice that we currently import. And why not become an exporter? It is a revolution, and we are not treating agriculture as a political issue. For me, it's a business. Nigeria has to be a big player in that, and all these things that we are doing is for that.